Hello, this is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach, and I am really excited about this installment, what I will be presenting to you today. I got an inspiration, I don't know when it was, sometime last night, and it really clicked. I really understood the essence of what most people are trying to achieve when they want to overcome procrastination and stay consistent. Now, I admit there are many tasks that you have to initially, as a lot of the videos you see on the YouTube system say, force yourself to be consistent, force yourself to be consistent. Well, that's one way, but consistency is not just for one time, that you just force yourself one time and then after that you're going to always have problems. It's a matter of training yourself to be consistent over a period of time when it happens to be a routine that has to be repeated. Well, I digress. But the point I'm trying to make is this. There is a type of consistency that is automatic and effortlessly done. And this involves loving what you do, finding your purpose, and giving yourself to it 100%. When you do this, procrastination is impossible and consistency is inevitable. And I want to show and emphasize in this installment why finding your life purpose, the reason why you were born on this earth, is the single one most important thing that you could ever do for yourself. So let's take a look at when procrastination becomes impossible and consistency becomes inevitable. This happens when you love what you do and find your purpose and know your passion. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, I got it. I got it in a flash of light, as you might say. The ultimate secret to dissipating procrastination and making consistency inevitable. And here it is. Loving what you do makes procrastination impossible and consistency inevitable. Right now, I'm touching on the subject of your life purpose. Your life purpose is everything. Your life purpose is the key to your happiness. Because happiness is not after you achieve any particular goal, because it always makes happiness something that must be postponed. Happiness is the process of becoming. Let me repeat that. Happiness is the process of becoming who you were meant to be when you were born onto this earth. When you find your purpose, your true purpose in life, and you begin to love what you do, going to bed at night thinking about it, waking up the next morning, can't wait to get started, to do as much as you can of it. This loving of what you do, which is an expression of who you are, of what your talents are, of what you were meant to be. This loving of what you do makes procrastination impossible. How can it even exist? Because you want to do more and more and more of what it is that you feel passionate about. And consistency becomes inevitable. So, what we're talking about now is how to discover your life purpose, how to do that which you know you must do what you were born to do, which utilizes all of your talents. This reminds me of an excellent example of when a person realizes his or her natural talent and passion and purpose, and then differs from that by using someone else's logic to do something else that's quote unquote more practical. Let me give you the example of what I'm talking about. One day I was in the supermarket and I was purchasing some groceries, and the young man, Jorge, I believe his name was, who was helping me bag the groceries, began to talk with me. I said, "How's it going, Jorge? You doing this full-time or part-time?" He says, "No, I'm doing this part-time because I'm in school." I said, "Oh, you're in school? Well, yes, I'm about to study a particular field." "Okay, what is it?" "Veterinarian." "Ah, so you want to study veterinary?" He says, "Yes. Yes, I'm going to study veterinary." And I said, "Oh, is that something that you've always wanted to do?" "Well, not really. I mean, I really like animals and I have an affinity for animals. But what I really want to do, I would really love to do, would become a fighter pilot in the Air Force." And then I was almost floored. I said, "Well, Jorge, why would you pursue a goal of studying veterinary if your passion is to join the Air Force and become a fighter pilot?" He says, "Well, yeah, I know, but my school counselor said that it would be much more practical for me to study something like veterinary instead of going in the Air Force to study to become a fighter pilot." I was again floored. I said, "Jorge, the most practical thing on earth is to do what you love to do, what you want to do, what your passion is. That is the most practical thing on earth because you won't quit. If you decide upon something as precious as your future based on the uninformed advice of a school counselor, that is the most impractical thing you can do because you won't continue, you won't persist. At the first sign of opposition, you will want to give up. You won't have the drive to continue to face any type of setbacks or obstacles because your heart is not there. That's what's impractical. If you want to be a fighter pilot, then do so. Do you see that this is where your passion is? This is what you really want to do? You don't listen to somebody else's opinion of who you know who you are." And his response was, "Yeah, well, I guess you're right. I'm going to give it some thought. I'm going to think about that." Well, that kind of reply, "I'm going to think about it," is really equivalent to a definite maybe, which means that he probably won't pursue what he loves to do and what he will persist in doing and continue doing no matter what the obstacles. You know what's ironic about this particular instance? Here's a young man who is willing to risk his life to fight for his country as a pilot in the Air Force, has the courage to stand up and to do this, but doesn't have the courage to fight for his dream. How ironic is that? How ironic is that? You see, when it comes to discovering your life purpose, it's not that difficult. Most people make a big deal of what is my life purpose, what is my life purpose, and all of this stuff. I say to you that you've always known what your life purpose was. What are the things that you've always gravitated toward over and over again? So you see, the problem with following your passion and your purpose and your dream is that in many cases you feel it's not practical enough because not enough people are doing it, or maybe right immediately you can't see where the money is going to come from it. But when you have a passion, you have a need to give and enrich the lives of other people with what you have, and that has value. That always has monetary value, and you just have to look a little bit deeper to find out what it is that you need to do to be able to offer your talents and your abilities to other people to help improve the quality of their lives. And this will turn into money some way or the other. It can be such as starting a nonprofit organization of some sort, starting something that nobody else has started. But the idea is that you have to do whatever it takes to find out how to do this full time. You have to find out, how can I make a living out of this? And given enough thought, enough desire, you will discover how this is done. If it's not about finding whatever your passion is by being hired in a particular job or organization, it may involve you creating your own organization to hire other people so that you can continue with your life's goal and your passion. So that's my point. Look at yourself. Look at your life. What have you naturally been drawn to over and over and over again? What are the things that you do effortlessly? What are the things that you do with passion? What are the things that utilize your talents and abilities, your God-given gifts, that make it something that's joyful? And the question of procrastination and inconsistency doesn't even come into play. Find your passion. Look at your life. What have you naturally been drawn to and have gravitated to over the course of your life? And find out how you can offer this to improve the quality of life of other people. And whenever you do that, you definitely will be compensated in the light of prosperity. That's the key. So, in summary, the secret of all life, the very purpose of why you were born on this earth, is to find something where you love what you do, and this will make procrastination impossible and consistency definitely be inevitable. Okay, I really enjoyed this presentation. I hope you did also. And it should be evident by now that you need to look within yourself. And as it was said by the philosopher, I forget who it was, know thyself. And once you know thyself, to all others, you can be true as well. I'm paraphrasing it and probably messing up the quote. I think it was Shakespeare, probably. But the idea is that once you find your passion and follow your bliss and do what you're supposed to be doing using all of your talents and your abilities, procrastination is impossible and consistency is inevitable. So, before we go, I would like to invite you to my community of consistent-minded people at the Prosper Consistency Success membership site, where you will be a part of a family of members where we help each other stay consistent and achieve our goals. So, without any further ado, I'd like you to go and check www.consistencysuccesscoach.com, and you'll be glad that you did, because you will have access to accountability partners who will help you stay focused to achieve your goal, as you will be assigned to a member to be their accountability partner to help them stay focused and achieve their goal. There will also be live coaching calls where you can call in and get answers to whatever problems or obstacles or setbacks that you may be facing to help you overcome this and continue on your path to consistency and achieve your goal. So, one other thing. Almost forgot to mention to you that I put out daily consistent content on the subject of consistency so that you don't miss out on any of the installments. I would invite you to like and subscribe and be privy to the new and upcoming installments that come out on a daily basis. So, as I always say before we go, until the next time, stay consistent and be successful.